Chapter 6, The State of Eating. The state of eating? Oh, hey. Hey there, Yamato. I was heading back to the apartment after gathering information when I ran into my neighbors just outside. They must have been coming home from work. We shared an informal greeting as we passed. It seemed they were getting used to Japanese customs. Hey, fancy meeting you here. Yuki-san? Yuki-san? Sorry, my Japanese still ain't all that good. On your way home too? Yeah, I suppose you must have been at work. Yeah, but it's not going so well, I'm afraid. Oh wow, I just forgot her voice. I just blanked completely on her voice. Turn that down a little bit more. It's very loud. No one wanted to hire me, really. They have no taste at all. They were job hunting. I never realized they were so badly off. Still, an army doesn't fund itself. An army? Ah, you're a large family. I get it, of course. Yeah, that's true. It must be tough. Here's an idea, neighbor. How about a little charity? You pity us, don't you? If you pity someone, you give them money, don't? Yeah. What am I doing? That's how things are done in this country, is it not? Yeah, well... Hey, knock it off. But, oh, that's right. You live in the same apartment complex as we do. You must be as broke as we are. Forget what I've said. Fuck, yeah. They must have been worse off than I thought. I thought I'd just said that to myself already. I wish that there was something I could do, but... no. I would help them get a job if I could, but I wasn't in much of a position to do so. I thought for a moment of Cafe Ichimonji, but it usually had so few customers, they probably didn't need any more staff. Hey, sorry about her social skills. I need some work. Don't worry about it. I mean, please, you don't need to apologize. Excuse me? I was not. Oh. Is, someone's stomach rumbling? It wasn't me, and it wasn't Mikael-san, which meant it must be... What? I think it's your stomach. Well, I'll have you know, I am a beautiful woman of womanly beauties. I do not get hungry. Yeah, right. Blushing in a deep crimson, she stammered out her catchphrase, and then fell silent. I'm not reading very well today. She spun petulantly. Wow. She spun petulantly. Nope. She spun petulantly. Nope. Petulantly. She spun petulantly on her heel, then disappeared into the apartment. I seem to have upset her. Hey. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm real. Hey, I'm real sorry about that. Yeah, well, she's got a bad temper. She's like that with everyone, so please don't let it bother you. Yeah, I see. I know what it's like. I hope you don't think me rude for asking, but are you in rather dire straits? Yeah, I mean, it's a little embarrassing, isn't it? I mean, we do enough to make rent, but not so much more than that. Well, I mean, I better go. Mikael-san gave me a clipped bow and then disappeared into his apartment. Still very loud. Feeding such a large family must be real expensive. Real expensive. I returned to my room thinking over ways I might be able to help them. Jack, oh, no, that's in my head. Jack, oh no, that's right, that's fine. Jack, oh, must be out, I guess. I didn't sense anyone else in the room, but it was nice to be alone sometimes. I decided to run maintenance on my Stryker units. mind that joystick's just disappearing. Returned I have. Oh, returned home I have. I was just about to get started when Jack arrived home. He was carrying quite a number of bags. Hey, what you got there? A fine haul of clams. Inexpensive they were. Wow, what am I doing with your accent? A fine haul of clams. A fine haul of clams. Inexpensive they were in the supermarket. So I have bought them in plenty. Restricted to 1 bag per person were they, but I used the art of doppelganger to circumvent the rule. I understand why you did it, but it's rude to use ninja techniques to take advantage of a sale. Don't do it again. Oh no, my efforts, they are in vain. Now. It did seem to be the way of foreigners to buy in excess, although my neighbors would never... I know. Jack, do you mind if I take some of these clams? 'Twas my intention to partake with them, 'twas my intention to partake of them all myself, but if my liege wishes, I shall swallow my tears and relent. It was an absurd exaggeration, but that was Jack's way, so I didn't let it bother me. I split the clams up into pots. Into pots? Why don't we just take a whole bag over? Anyways, I split the clams up into pots, then realized something. I need to get the sand out first. That may take a bit of time. Assist you I shall. Nimbo sand removal! I watched in shock as the clams all expelled their sand at once. It seemed a rather specialized form of Ninpo, but I was grateful in this situation. Thanks, that's amazingly helpful. 'Tis the duty of a ninja to serve his liege. Well, I'm going to stop by the neighbor's place, so, yeah. Oh, is it neighbors, you say? We have so much extra, I thought, they might like some. They seem to be going through a rough patch. Oh, my liege, your generosity, it is unparalleled. Please, Jack, just try to watch your portions. I hear and obey. I gathered up some of the other ingredients with clams and headed for next door. Excuse me. Knock, knock. Yes. Yuki-san. How may I help you? My roommate brought a few too many clams. Brought? Oh, okay. My roommate brought a few too many clams home, so I wanted to split them with you. Do you mind? Well, that's, Food? Is that food? Quiet down. Yuki-san, we appreciate the sentiment, but we really can't accept charity from the likes of you. Such a polite demurral. They're so considerate. It's nothing, really. We really do have just way too many. Plus, she practically, broke the law to get them. So, please, take some. Not broke the law, but like a store rule. I don't know, it's like a user's agreement. It's sort of like... Anyways, you don't need to have to be polite, is all I'm saying. We may as well take some. Declining kindness when freely given is rude in its own way. That's true. Well then, Yuki-san, we'll gratefully accept your offer. Thank you. I knew that Yuki-san was a good person. Oh, mother and father in my homeland, I must continue to persevere. I heard Kazumi's voice softly in the back of the room. It was a reminder of how many people lived together in this tiny place. It must have been hard on them. Hey, thanks, Yuki-san. We really do owe you. I'm just acting as a good neighbor should, It's nothing, really. Well, now, how shall we cook them? Why not Sakamushi style, as before? That certainly was delicious, but rather lacks of caloric punch. Then, I'll make something else to fill us up. Just give me a moment to get some ingredients together, okay? You've brought spaghetti. What a chic decision. I might not be the tastiest option, but I might not be? I might not be either, but this dish might not be the tastiest option, but it should be filling. Well, we're certainly grateful, but you are sure about this? You're still a student, aren't you, Yuki-san? I do receive an allowance, though. It's meager, but, it's enough, so don't worry yourselves on that point. An allowance, you say? Yeah, from my folks. I still felt hesitant to admit to that. I had never felt entirely comfortable with my parents. So they are well off then, are they? Well, nothing. Go to it, then. Hey, you. I'm sorry, Yuki-san. Would you mind if I watched? I'd like to learn how to do it myself, for the future. Yeah, sure. I'll make sure I'll do it a little slowly, and then, first, anyways, whatever. First, we mince the garlic. And we're done, Quick musical interlude, and here we are. I made a big pot of pasta. It cost about 200 yen per kilo. There weren't a lot of clams in comparison, but it packed a lot of flavor. But they packed a lot of flavor. Well now, look at that. Mmm.
So delicious. Purely delicious.
Hey, I like the sakamushi a lot, but this is great too. Hey, it's certainly worthy of praise, let me tell you. It was far from a banquet, but it seemed to make them happy. She still seems to be upset about something. Hilko must have been hungry after all. She wolfed down her spaghetti in a flash.
It really is delicious. Is this how mothers cook here in Japanese Empire and the Japanese in Japan?
I'm not exactly... It's not exactly traditional Japanese food, but my mother did make it for me, a long time ago. How mothers cook. Hey, what is it? Thinking of home? Yeah, my mother's stew was the greatest. The best jambalaya in all the South. Yeah, mine was, well, let me think. I always thought her cooking was a little off, but, I still miss it, Whoop, wrong button. Oh, God.
I understand as well. Even if it's not the most delicious, you still long for it. Murray-san, what do you think?
Me? Well, my mother's cooking? Well, I would think of my own before hers. I'd quite like to taste it myself someday, I see. Perhaps I'll consider it, if I have the time. Absolutely ridiculous. The merry sound of reminiscing voices soon faded into the background. There was one person who had stopped eating. She was scowling down at her food. She wasn't participating in the conversation, or was she listening to her roommate's words? She just sat there, biting her lip. What is the matter with her? Mikhail-san had said something about her always being in a bad mood, but I wondered if there might be something more. From time to time, she'd cast a stray glance around her roommates, and I wonder if she might be jealous.
After we're finished this meal, I'm going to write a letter to my mother and father. I want them to know that there are kind people here.
Please, you're making just way too much of this. I got these little blushies. Mark Riley would be. I listened to a few more stories from their homeland and then decided to take my leave. Their home country must be like a rustic, simple place. It suits them well. I renewed my pledge to keep this country safe, for their families as well. It was several days after Yamato's visit. The cyborgs of the Balboa Empire sat around their table, looking down at what was upon it. Eggs and rice. Rin was at school and Miura was still missing. The others remained there, glaring at each other. I am sick of eggs and rice.
As am I.
Don't be such spoiled brats. Just be glad we've got anything to eat at all. Even so, the question is, how do we prepare them?
Speaking of which, we haven't seen Captain Murray do any cooking at all. Do you think he could try? Dear oh dear.
I'm afraid I can't handle chores at this exact moment. The old back is acting up.
Sheesh.
There ain't one of us that can do it.
What about you, huh?
I mean, I can make things Yuki-san taught me, but I mean, sure. But not with not with this.
You are quite useless, are you not?
Then why don't you make something, huh, Shorty?
You know that I cannot.
Then cut the high and mighty crap. Goodness, what disgraceful behavior.
Humans are such foolish beings. They snap at each other's throats over meager matters of meals.
Great. Now we got the dog lecturing us about it. You are such an idiot.
You talk pretty big yourself. You talk pretty big yourself. So why don't you cook, huh?
Impossible. Lieutenant Hilko only ever eats. She never cooked a day in her life. How?
Oh, just shut up, would you? If you insist, then maybe I will. I am a beautiful woman of womanly beauties. After all, I think I can handle a little cooking.
Really now?
I think that I can. Yes, let's see. There was an omelet rice from the cafe. I think I remember how that looked. I have got a bad feeling about this.
I told you to shut up. Hilko grabbed the rice and eggs and disappeared into the kitchen. A bit of time passed. The silence was broken several times by the sound of screams, things toppling over, and the occasional crash. At least Hilko finished her work.
This is...
It's really, something.
We have only ourselves to blame.
What is wrong with you?
There was something that had once been egg and something that had once been rice. Now it was merely a black clump on a dish. I can't believe it. Our precious ingredients reduced to this.
Yes, yeah. Truly, this was a grave error.
Boom, boom. Well, I guess I'll head home then. School was over and I had no business on campus. I started packing up to leave immediately.
Yuki-san, do you have a minute?
Kazumi, yeah, of course.
I was thinking of going shopping, for dinner on the way home, and I was wondering, if you might, come with me?
Me? I mean, I'm not an especially skilled shopper, but,
Please, if you wouldn't mind.
Kazumi bowed deeply. I also had to go shopping, and I was happy to go along with her, but I also had to gather some information. I could also head right home and get some rest. I never knew when the Balboa Empire was going to make their next move. I had to make sure I was in good condition. Go with Kazumi, gather information, or head straight home. Which should it be? They're gonna give me this decision. I can't even choose it. I can't even choose go with Rin. I can't even choose go with Rin. Son of a bitch. So, alright, so this is what I thought this was going to be our first, relationship question. And I am a sucker for girls with lavender hair. So, I was going to go with that. But that said, my intention has always kind of been to go for Ichimonji. So I think we're going to go gather the information in the cafe. I'm real sorry, Rin. I would have loved to go with you, but unfortunately they wouldn't let me click on the fucking button.
I see. Well, that's too bad, but... Well, maybe some other time, then.
Yeah, yeah. Kazumi seemed disappointed as she left. I wondered if I'd hurt her feelings. You probably did, Yamato. You probably did. The most important thing is keeping the peace. I picked up my bag and left the classroom behind. Anyway, stew Java, please. What do you mean, anyway? You seem as irritable as ever, Ichimonji. That's because you are irritating.
Please calm down, Sayaka-chan.
You know Haruna? He acts this way because you encourage him. This is no way to act in front of customers. You do realize that, do you not? You shut up.
Please don't be angry. Let's think about something more fun. Like, what were we gonna eat for dinner?
Excuse me, but I'm trying to watch the news. I mean, I haven't come here for leisure activities or conversation or whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry, Yamato-kun.
I told you to stop apologizing to him. Yuki, watching television is a leisure activity. I mean, for a layman, maybe. Then what is it for you? I'm sorry, that's classified. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Why do I have to be such a... Despite frequent disturbances, I remained at Cafe Ichimonji, gathering information. It was not a glamorous life, but a means to an end for the sake of world peace. It is time for a regular meeting.
But why is it so dark?
It isn't for atmosphere this time. We are attempting to keep the electricity bill down. Truly, there is such depths of poverty. A wretched state for any creature.
You are a dog.
Good job, Duran. Good job. You know, that little pinwheel thing, you know, with where you pull the string and it's got the arrow and it goes around and it lands on the cow and goes, Mrr. You know, that's really working out for you. But it's fluorescent lighting. Does it really cost that much to run? He's got a point. Captain Daniel, turn on the lights. As you wish. City location X. I never read those, but I just felt like it at that point in time. After a few moments, the lights flickered on. Still, our financial situation is no laughing matter. We need a more reliable method to finance our meals. Malnutrition can have a damning effect on battle prowess. Malnutrition can have a damning effect on battle prowess. I suggest we try to... I don't know. Wow. This is not a line that you should ever use. Malnutrition. You have inspired her. Malnutrition can take a damning effect on battle prowess. I suggest we try to think of, a plan to present them at our next meeting, yeah? It's just pathetic.
Do you think Officer Orson wishes to eat soon as well?
It's a bad situation, yeah. Too bad some people around here are a little more willing to waste food anyway.
A sense of danger filled the air as Hilko and Phoenix glared at each other. Fortunately, it didn't come to blows.
I don't mind people venting their frustrations, but there's no need to pick a fight among allies.
Very well. It's better not to waste our calories anyway. So hungry.
The bionic soldiers of Balbora were struggling through the depths of their poverty. Each day was a battle to remain properly fed. Chapter 6 End.